I'm settled in my vehicle. I'm going to turn on the ignition. As soon as I turn on the ignition, this end of convoy line appears with this, which I have symbolically placed at the back of my trailer, and which lets me see the end of the convoy. And this yellow line that's displayed allows me, with the control part that's positioned on the door, to adjust this setting by moving it up or down along the bottom, which represents the rear of my trailer on the ground. By flipping the small control to the right, I confirm this setting. Other adjustments are possible with this control on this door. To the left with my dial, I open 3 different settings. The first setting is the brightness of my screens. I'm going to move the little arrow. In each screen, if I move to the right, I'll get this adjustment position. Or by moving up or down, I can adjust the brightness of my screen. Going back with the little arrow to the left, I return to my main menu. Second slot, I move my control down where I can adjust my end of convoy line if my vehicle hasn't been disconnected. By moving my control to the right, I'll find my previously set end of convoy line, and just like before, I can adjust this end of convoy line. Don't forget to confirm by moving the control to the right. Last position, I'll go down to the auto panning setting for automatic trailer tracking when I'm driving. Depending on the length of my rig, by moving to the right, I can set the length and therefore the tracking angle of my trailer. If my rig is short, I'll set it to position 1. And as my rig gets longer, I can open up this angle more so I have full tracking when I turn right or left. Since my rig is for a standard trailer, Renault Trucks recommends setting it to the 2nd position. As always, I don't forget to confirm by switching my control to the right. The menu disappears. I can set my control back to 0 and I'm ready to go. I've just changed my trailer to hook up a much smaller one, so I'll need to adjust my setting, which was previously aimed at a much longer combination. To do this, I placed a marker at the back of my trailer. Five specific functions on the left screen. Night mode, which lets us drive at night and have a much clearer night vision. The folding of the mirrors, either when stopped or while driving from 0 to 10 km per hour. From 0 to 10 km per hour, we can fold in our exterior mirrors in case we need to pass through a slightly narrow spot. So I can control it directly from the screen and drive with my mirrors folded up to 10 km per hour. Above 10 km per hour, I'll get a message on my central display and my cameras for about 10 seconds. Will reset automatically. The small heated lens lets us have a much clearer display when it's wet or in heavy fog. With automatic mode off, so auto panning disabled, and trailer following in driving mode, we'll have exactly the same view as a classic mirror, direct rear view, and a wide angle at the top. With the control on the door, I can adjust my cameras on the right or the left. By moving my control to the left, I can open or close the field of view of my camera. By switching to the left, I notice there's an orange icon showing I'm outside the legal field. As soon as I turn off the engine and ignition and restart the vehicle, the default field will return to regulation. My control is equipped with a zoom function. By my control to the right, it widens the field of view on both my screens, right and left, allowing me to have a much wider view during maneuvers. To turn off this function, just switch my control back to the 0 point. When reversing, we can adjust the viewing angle by using the control on the door and moving it left or right to get a much wider view during maneuvers. This is very useful when backing up in the opposite direction. You just need to switch it back to the standard position to return to the normal view. So panning will let us continuously follow the rear of my trailer while maneuvering forward. That is to say, when I move to my left, I'll have a small icon that lets me constantly keep track of the back of my trailer. And when I straighten out my vehicle, that function disappears. If I disable the auto panning function with this feature, the little symbol appears at the top left of my screen, meaning that when I start driving and turning, I have the standard mirror view and immediately lose sight of the back of my trailer. If I disable this function in this position, if I move forward again, the auto panning function naturally comes back and I get the rear view of my trailer back even though I'm in the process of turning, docking in reverse on the right side. This lets me, by flipping my small door control to the right, open up the view so I can properly monitor where my trailer is positioned on my maneuver at the rear right, so I can guide myself precisely using the ground markings and this docking, whether on the right or left, if I wanted to use it to dock. On the driving side, when you're going over 40 kilometers per hour, the GSR2 regulation requires us to have information about our blind spots on the right. So on the screen to the right, we will have a visual alert with a small orange symbol indicating that there is a vehicle or a person on our right and who are moving in the same direction as us. If I put on my right turn signal to move into their lane, a red warning light will come on and an alarm will sound. On the left side, above 40 kilometers per hour, I won't have any mandatory alerts. In orange, because I'm driving over 40, a red warning light will appear as soon as I use my turn signal and a vehicle comes close to my convoy. Below 40 kilometers per hour, I'll get an orange and, if needed, a red alert, just like on the right side. Night has really fallen now. By turning on my night mode, it's like I have work lights shining on the sides of my vehicle, and my vehicle is equipped with a blind spot entry camera. So as soon as I turn on my indicator, this camera comes on, and as you can see, you can't see anything at all. If I activate night mode, I can see the side of my vehicle much better. I'm inside my cab, it's very dark. I need to be safe and turn my CMS back on. A simple press on the bunk lets me reactivate these exterior cameras and make sure the area around my vehicle is safe.